Hello, Dr. Sharf, Jennifer, and Andrea. I talked to Scott this morning and I told him that I would put together a video. I have been vexed by the difficulty in getting reviews for Northwoods, and I know that it'll help a ton in your rankings. And so, we've been talking about it for 3 years and the reviews haven't really taken off. So I worked for the past few months on putting together a system that will solve the problem. And I was working on it and I was checking out your website and I discovered a problem with Google Places. And so I wanted to make a short video about that so that especially Andrea will understand what the issue is and how we can solve the problem. Basically, in summary, I know I've gone over this before in other videos I've done for Jennifer and on the phone. The factors for optimizing Google Places are you got to have a completed profile. And I completely completed the profile in Google Places, I don't know, a year and a half ago. You're at 100% complete. And that means that you have pictures, videos, all the boxes filled out. We're at 100%. The one thing that we could do is on a regular basis go in and do a coupon special. And that's the one thing that can be changed. And I could talk to Andrea about how to go in and do that on a monthly basis. And you could change it up, make it different from time to time. You could have different teeth. I've seen dentists do, and I think you've done, teeth whitening or free initial x-ray or whatever. But at any rate, the profile is filled out completely, and that is what we call on-page optimization. Then the next thing that's most important is citations, and these are links to your Google Places page from other websites. And a citation basically just means name, address, and phone. It's called the NAP, and it has to be exactly 100% the same from another site to your site, or it doesn't count. So when I initially set it up, I didn't, for instance, include your suite number. I just had your street address, the name of your company, and your phone number. Alright, and so that's how it is on your website, and it needs to be uniform in every other website, and I'll get into that in just a couple secs. The other thing that you need to have is reviews, and when we first set up the Google Places page, reviews were important, but not that important. And about a year ago, Google changed their algorithm, so now reviews are indexed. And when I first started talking to you about reviews, I noticed that Boger Dental had like 147 reviews, and when Google changed the rules, most of those reviews disappeared for Boger. But that doesn't mean that they're not still out there. They're still counting. So when you get a review on Yelp or on City Search or Merchant Circle or wherever, as long as it has the exact same NAP that we have on our website, it will count as a citation to your northwoodsdental.com website. So reviews are important, and that citation is important. And then the ranking of reviews is also important. So, if you go and do a search for restaurants in Plymouth or Maple Grove, you'll notice that there are scores, and that is going to evolve in the dental sphere. So the software I've set up is going to include a ranking element, so people can choose 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 stars. The goal being a 5-star score. So the review score is important, and then you have to have links to your website and to your Google Places page. And I have created thousands of links. They stick for a while and then they disappear, because a lot of the links that we create are what we call social links. But I've created them, and then somehow the NAP has been changed. So a lot of the work that I've done, it got erased when they went in and changed the website and the phone number. Okay, and then of course the velocity of reviews and backlinks. So you can't go and get a ton of backlinks and a bunch of reviews and then kind of hang up your coat and say we're done getting reviews and backlinks. They need to continue, because that's what would naturally happen if you were a really good business, which you are. People would continue to frequent your establishment, and they would continue to place reviews, and you would continue to get backlinks. That's why it's been an ongoing process. Just to look at some of the stuff here, if you do a search for Northwoods Dental in Plymouth, okay, there's your website, all right, and if I scroll down just a little bit, here's your Google Places page. Now when I set this up, the URL right here was northwoodsdental.com, and this is showing up as plymouthmndentist.com, and the phone number down here is changed. And so that's what kind of distressed me when I saw this. Basically, all the work that I've done has kind of been undone by this getting changed. And I talked to Scott about it and Jennifer, and Jennifer said, you know, don't change anything. Well, I went ahead and I logged into this, and I still have control of it. So, you know, if we go here, this is in Safari. Oh, it stopped working. Basically, I still have control of it. So I went in. This is the other one. Okay, so if you look here in Safari, this is the one we want to look at. Okay, I can still change this. You can see up here in the right hand corner, northwoodsdentalclinic@gmail.com. I'm logged into this, so I went down and I can get that phone number changed and the URL changed again. And I went in and I said, you know, this is our phone number, and so they added that right away, but they haven't gotten rid of this phone number or this URL yet. And that's what's messing this whole thing up. And so this needs to be uniform all across the web. And so I know you're doing something with Yodel and everything, but if what Yodel is doing is contrary to what we've done, it's just going to hurt, because you want to have your primary website showing up. And I know, Scott, you said something about getting a mobile site. Well, I can go ahead and build some mobile pages for your primary website, so that if people are on a smartphone and they do a search for northwoodsdental.com, when it comes up on their phone, it'll have a one-button click to call. It'll have all those, you know, options. I can make some tinier pages of some of your primary pages and put them on a mobile site so that they can contact you and not have to look at your whole website on a mobile phone. That's something that I can do to this website. This is the website that I believe Yodel probably created. I hope that's familiar to you, but that's where this is going. And so you can see here in this NAP, they've got the Suite 270 in there, and that's what's screwing things up. It has to be exactly uniform all through the internet. And if we go and look at some other sites, Insider Pages, this one is exactly right. Okay, so you have your traditional phone number, and then if we click this, it takes you right to the normal website. So that's fine. Insider Pages is fine. Super Pages, I believe this is fine as well. It looks like the NAP is all... Oh no, the phone number is different. So, you know, if you have an account at Super Pages, I know this is probably a tracking phone number so that you can track where your calls are coming from. And if you want to do that, I totally understand that. And heck, if you want to keep this phone number, this one up here, if you want to keep that phone number so that you can track what leads are coming from your internet, we can do that. But then I need to go to your website and change this phone number here and change the numbers down here, okay? Because it needs to be uniform all across the internet. Otherwise, the sites will actually be working against you. So Super Pages, City Search, that has the right phone number and the right NAP. That's all good. Bing is good. And Yahoo is different. And so that's something that, you know, it has the suite number and it has a different phone number. So if you've paid money to Yahoo and City Search, well, not City Search, Yahoo and Super Pages, you know, if you're paying for these numbers and you want to keep doing that, that's fine. But ideally, these phone numbers should all be the same on every single site. All right, so we can talk about that on Monday. Hopefully this video was helpful.